Hello friends, here I have the full video of how a Russian mobile air defense group almost managed to deputinize themselves. After mounting a 4-barrel Gatling-type rotary machine gun, Yak B-12.7, which was specifically developed to be mounted on a Mi-24 heavy attack helicopter. And they have just a bit of angular recoil coupled with some torque, which made the turret spin uncontrollably, throwing Ivan overboard from the vehicle. But the one who really surprised me with his reflexes was his colleague, who was also on the truck bed, who managed to duck before the runaway machine gun ruined his afternoon. But it probably at least singed his hair. One can't help but wonder what happened to the rest of the artillery crew present at the training session, who are usually arranged in a semicircle to watch the operation of a weapons system. However, despite our expectations, no one was injured, except for the invader who stopped the weapon with his hands and got minor burns. This is a "yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up here" meme moment. Probably wondering how I ended up in this situation. But let's look on the bright side. At least there was no shortage of laughs. Now, this type of machine gun can indeed be used as an anti-aircraft weapon, as we see in this footage, where a thermal camera was installed and it is mounted on a suitable mount, capable of keeping the recoil line as close as possible to the axis of rotation and placing the combined center of mass of the weapon and ammunition over the pivot point. Don't ask Ivan for that. He's only here to invade. An invader was tasked with defending a tactical van from aerial threats. However, it seems he was enjoying the ride so much on that beautiful summer day that he completely lost his situational awareness. Luckily, a friendly mosquito came down to visit him and made him regret signing the contract to travel to Ukraine. In any case, the mosquito was very clever and used the oldest trick in the book, diving down with the sun at its back, which can be inferred from the shape of the shadows. Well, Ivan, it's time to sleep. This is pretty strange. A Ukrainian reconnaissance drone was patrolling when it noticed that some invaders were having a group work motivation session, led by what I would dare to say is a sergeant, who is giving his talk to his men with what appears to be a stick. He uses it as a teaching tool to make sure the message has been clearly understood. Anyway, nothing to see here, just orcs being orcs. Too bad a Ukrainian attack mosquito wasn't nearby. It would have made a great lesson for the novice invaders. You know it, Ivan. Go to the front with a big smile, or you'll get your dose of motivation again. It's often hard to grasp how large the Shahed drones are that the Horde launches daily at Ukrainian cities. But thanks to this farmer who found one of Ivan's vultures in his field, we can see its real scale. I just hope they deactivated it before moving it, although I doubt these countrymen really care, to be honest. Ukraine's agricultural division is back in action, just like when they recovered the armored vehicles that Ivan left behind during his reverse offensive in 2022. On the air front, Defense Minister Mikhail Fedorov announced the delivery of several advanced mobile F-16 flight simulators to the Air Force, not only with the goal of speeding up the training of new pilots, but also to be used in the design and testing of new combat tactics by active Ukrainian pilots, allowing them to rehearse complex combat scenarios without having to use their valuable F-16s. This is known as synthetic training. The delivery was managed by the countries participating in the Air Force Capability Coalition, which is a multinational group formed under the Ramstein 2.0 working format. Its goal is to provide additional capabilities to maximize the use of Ukrainian F-16s. In addition, it coordinates the supply of Western combat aircraft, pilot and technician training, development of maintenance infrastructure, and the transfer of munitions and associated systems. The exact number of F-16 mobile simulators has not been revealed, but we do know that this is the second batch. The first was delivered in April this year. These units are scarce worldwide due to their high cost, specialized design, and training software that perfectly mimics the flight characteristics of the F-16. In addition, these systems are configured for Ukraine's needs, including maps of the country and a database of the threats they have to face. They are also highly mobile, so they can be quickly relocated if necessary. On the naval front, Ukraine's unmanned systems forces reported attacking another 15 ships belonging to Ivan the Pirate in the Sea of Azov during the night of July 13th. The targets included 7 oil tankers, 5 dry cargo ships, a ferry, and 2 tugboats. With the results of this latest special naval operation, the total number of ships from the shadow fleet of the Z Horde that have been attacked rises to 105 in just 8 days. In the footage, you can see how the mosquitoes fall like the plagues of Egypt upon the fleeing fleet of the invaders, with multiple impacts visible on the ships, mainly concentrated on the bridges, aiming to disable them and leave them without control. Apart from the videos from the Ukrainian forces themselves, the attacks have been confirmed by images taken by independent satellites from Planet Labs and the European Union's Copernicus program, which show columns of black smoke rising from the ships. Commander Robert Magyar Brovdi stated on Telegram that the logistical infrastructure of the peninsula is being attacked every night. Traffic through the strait has stopped and the unloading of goods has been reduced to a minimum, referring to the strategic Kerch Strait and the logistics centers that serve Crimea. The campaign in the Sea of Azov represents a logical evolution in Ukraine's strategy, which first focused on destroying land-based transportation and fuel refining infrastructure, causing a severe gasoline shortage in Crimea. In response, the invaders tried to send supplies by sea, so the defenders responded by launching their swarm against Ivan the Pirate's ships, who I don't think was prepared for such an effective offensive. In fact, so far I haven't seen any defensive fire from the ships, neither missiles nor small arms. This suggests the Russian sailors didn't expect to be attacked out at sea. In response to the attacks on their ships in the Sea of Azov, Ivan the Pirate is launching his jet-powered Geron 4 attack drones equipped with autonomous guidance modules against the grain transport ships arriving at the Ukrainian port of Chornomorsk, which is located near Odessa. The footage shows the guidance system identifying and designating targets in the port. The air defenses managed to intercept most of the attackers, but several still managed to slip into the port. Those that got through caused major damage to the port terminals, which forced their operations to be suspended, putting global food security at risk. Reports confirm civilian casualties, including dead and injured on board a Togolese vessel. Some have taken refuge at the truck stops. In Chechnya, several Ukrainian naval and commercial assets were damaged. The defenders are responding in kind, and their mosquitoes paid a visit to the Russian port of Azov in Rostov Oblast, targeting key fuel infrastructure, oil terminals, and port support facilities, causing severe damage throughout the bay. An eye for an eye, Ivan. If you want to see additional content about the war in Ukraine, I invite you to visit our 2 new channels, where we present information about the war in a different format. Don't forget to check them out. Remember to visit our Patreon, where for just $1, you'll have access to a large number of uncensored videos and documentaries. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.